This is Florida Natural Farming at Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. So I love birds. I don't like hearing the constant noise of the road. For some reason in Florida, it's like a buzzing in my ear. And so I asked for the birds to come here to make noise, so that I couldn't hear the noise of the street. And they came. And it helps, and it distracts me from having to listen to the car noise. All these birds were never here when we moved here. It was the typical shorebirds that poke in the lawn and stuff like that in Florida. That's it. Not the little small birds and the blackbirds, the mockingbirds. The bird people are here. I love them. Thank you, birds. They also solved another problem, which was nature is always the answer to all these problems that are going on in the world. So I was stressed out over this farm constantly. It would constantly cause stress. That's been the major driver of my creativity on the YouTube, is the stress from the farm. It helps me talk it out and work through it, and then I can move on without constantly stressing over it. So a lot of that stress was all the certification things that I was doing, you know, the biodynamic, the organic, and then that other one, real organic, which is real organic project, which is organic. It's just another layer on organic. But they don't trust organic, so they have another label that resides because of organic, and then they dirt the organic. They talk bad about it, and they pick and choose which farms they got. But it's all stress. They all cause stress. And I give farm tours here, but this is an invitation-only farm. And we're specialty. We don't have to like pick and sell stuff, and I don't know. We have so many little things that it's like all together it becomes a specialty farm. So many different plants and stuff that we're not just one plant is supporting us. Just like not one bird keeps the noise from seeping in. So the certification processes were like stressful, except this time. I had the biodynamic here, and I had the real organic project here. And I'm not going to be certified organic anymore. I'm going to relinquish my USDA organic certification and remain biodynamic. But just by releasing my USDA organic certification, it gets rid of I can't be real organic project certified. I'm not real organic project certified anymore. I texted him yesterday and I said, please remove me as one of your farms. Or a couple days ago, the day after the inspection that I had with them. They said that wasn't an inspection, that was a meet and greet. Well, if that was a meet and greet, I don't want to see what the inspection's like, because it was not pleasant. Ugh. So I'm gonna look at some fruit. that we have. People want fruit, and we have fruit at the moment, but most of our fruit that probably is in the amounts that I could sell is lemons, and I can't sell lemons in Florida or transport lemons in Florida. But I could sell the seeds, and I use all the lemon juice, so they don't go to waste. I'm gonna start freeze drying the lemons, I think, probably next year if we have more. This jackfruit is like getting very close to being ripe, and I wish I could sell the fruit of this, but we just don't have that many fruiting jackfruit trees at the moment. Most of our trees are seed grown, so they're just not ready yet. And this summer we had a really bad drought, and this past winter we had a really bad freeze 2 days in a row. So everything in the tropical fruit world around here can be touchy when it comes to cold and freeze. But we're survived. Everything's fine. Very few things got damaged from the freeze. Only one tree died from the drought. I want my trees that can't survive a drought to die. It's kind of weird, but that's how it is. We dry farm everything. We use biodynamic compost. I apply raw zebu manure, desi cow manure. I let the orchard floor grow out. So this is my whole problem with the USDA organic. They don't look at the environment. They don't look at they just look at their crop, whether or not it's following the thousands of pages of rules they have. It's crazy. Rather than just have a farm standard, they have like a farm standard rule book of what you can and can't use that's been changed and rewritten and changed, and has the most random stuff that you could use as inputs that it's just not organic. And that's why people have lost faith in it. Biodynamic. I really didn't. The more I'm biodynamic certified, it seems the better it gets. They apologized for my inspection last year. It was me freaking out, but when they told me I couldn't apply raw manure, I was like, no, that's like the cornerstone of our fertility here. We apply it every day, raw cow manure. You just have to pay attention to where you apply it in order for it to be legal in the certifying things. A home garden, you could apply it right up against the tree and eat the fruit, but they're paranoid about E. coli because the organic people and the colleges and stuff don't really, maybe they're changing the colleges, but there's really no rules on good rules for taking care of animals healthy. You know, holistically, looking at the whole system. So not too many animals, so that we don't create pits that create E. coli. Because that's how you get E. coli. It's not from the animals, it's from you hoarding animals. That's what it's from. So Florida has all these major freaking issues. This is the Kwai muck. I just, my last video I did a taste of it, but I don't see any ripe fruit on it. Yeah, it's the management of the animals. Too many animals create out of balance systems. It's nutrient pollution. Like if you apply too much copper, if you apply too much nitrogen, if you apply too much anything, it causes damage, and you get effects from that. Non-human beneficial effects, or non-plant beneficial effects, or something. It affects something. It affects all the cycles is what it does. the water cycle, the nitrogen cycle. It's just everything gets affected. When you look at a system nutrient by nutrient, that's what happens. And then when you have mowed lawn in Florida, anywhere, it runs off and carries those nutrients away with it. Everywhere else. It's frustrating. I think that if everyone just stopped mowing half their lawn, that all the problems in Florida could get fixed, the pollution problems. And it doesn't have to look like this, the unkempt part. It's the unkempt. If everyone did unkempt half their garden, it would fix Florida's problems. Where's that little frog I just saw in there? Find the frog. It's like finding Elmo. There he is. What? Yeah, right there. I see him. It would fix all Florida's problems, but it doesn't have to look like this. I think the best description of unkempt, the best visual of unkempt is an English border, you know, English cottage garden border. That's unkempt, and that is like super healthy, and that's the same thing that's going on in nature pretty much. It's just that in that instance, you have a control. So you select all the plants, but it's still not mowed every day. It's left to grow, and it's not micromanaged. The lawn creates nutrient pollution runoff in Florida. And for that reason alone, it can, if we reduce the lawn, it will put more natural forces to work and prevent the runoff. I'm gonna go look at the sugar apples because I have people that want fruit, but the sugar apples are kind of done. They're there, but they're like, you know, one or two trickling in here and there. I still have them. I'm kind of sick of sugar apples at this point. Now, if I had Atemoyas, which I think we might have, I would pick them. Come on, camera. I think that it's amazing that when you let things go wild or unkempt, that nature moves into it if you want it. But if you don't want it, I think the animals and stuff can sense that. I don't know, it's just weird stuff that Biodynamic talks about, stuff like that, and opens a discussion to further our understanding of exactly what is happening around us. If we lose all the stuff we don't understand by discounting it and killing it, then we're going to be stuck with basically conditions that are not conducive to live in. We can't keep killing all the fungicides and pesticides and herbicides in Florida with the mowed lawn, and haven't run off into the lagoons and stuff, because I don't know, Florida's just, I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better. But biodynamic Demeter wants to work with Florida and fix it. They want to help. They look at all the natural stuff. They know the importance of it. That's why they were started more than 100 years ago in Europe, to combat disease and death. They're dedicated to nature and changing how we farm. The people are just amazing. I'm not really your typical Demeter person. I'm a little more vocal. They're more reserved. I fell into Demeter, and I'm still learning. I guess these sugar apples are like gonna send out another crop. Come on, camera. Focus. There. Sugar apple flowers. That's a fruiting size flower. Demeter Biodynamics is a trusted brand, founded on compassion, health, and healing, not money. They don't have a offshoot attached to them that ridicules other biodynamic farms and props up some that they choose to like. It's just, I mean, that format is just so doomed to failure. If you're like throwing, it's like a family that's fighting internally and yelling about it. That's what it's like. Telling everyone. It's like throwing rocks at your glass house from inside. That's why I was able to kill, I hate to say it, sorry birds, 2 birds with 1 stone when I stopped being USDA organic. Certified. I still am, but I'm going to send in my intent to withdraw from the USDA organic program. Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. So my partner every now and then gets people that want to come by here. People just assume that because we have this farm that we're open to the public, and we're not. It's not up to my partner to decide who comes to the farm. It's up to me. Complete control over who gets a farm tour. Unless it's his family, then he takes them around. But anyone else, they have to come through me. And I sense sometimes, I don't know, it's not a good idea. Very rarely, very, very rarely. But I'm usually right on my intuition in denying somebody access to this place. And when I haven't listened to that intuition, it wasn't the people that I felt the negativity from. It was the people that they bring with them and don't tell me. I don't know. I didn't realize biodynamics was so into hearing me and on the exact same path of, oh yeah, I was looking at the sugar apples, but I was just amazed by these bananas. They look great. We're gonna have lots of bananas. I see this one's blooming. I remember we just went through a hurricane, you know. It was 30 miles from here. Ian, it snapped a huge giant tree. Two giant branches off right there. Lifted it up and dropped it straight down. Tornado, obviously. I could hear the tornado in the middle of the night. I think it was like midnight. I was like, oh, another freaking hurricane. Why is it here? Oh, because it changed course and was coming right by our house. Both of our houses, actually. So yeah, biodynamics, they understand that we have to put the natural systems back into our living, all our systems, all our communities, not just the farm communities. There's a little frog on the mango. That's what I mean about spraying copper. That's a nutrient that gets polluted and gets run off into the lagoons and kills aquatic life. So if you want to know where the lesions come from, I'd start with the copper on the dolphins, you know. Well, it's just one of the things that it's coming from. People just don't seem to listen. It's like a friend that's sick, constantly sick, younger than me, has to go to the hospital constantly, but doesn't look at their diet. It's the same thing with our environment that we live in. We're all sick and getting sick, but so many people refuse to look at all the destruction of nature and equate that with the health of them or the health of the planet. Nature is what filters clean, or makes clean air and water. We can't live without it. We're learning to, but we're sick. There's more and more animals. The lagoons are dying. Florida's short on fresh water in all its coastal communities. Supposedly we're going to run out within 7 years. It could all be stopped if we put a little of this back into your yard. Like I said, it doesn't have to look like this. It could look like an English border cottage garden, a tropical cottage garden. They look beautiful. There's so many things. But like my good friend who doesn't listen to me when I say you have to start removing items from your diet one at a time. And I would start with the non-dairy creamer that you drink probably a half gallon a day of, or a quart a day. I would start with that if I were him. But he can't hear me. He cannot hear me. He'd rather go to the doctor 2, 3, 4 times a week to the hospital. It's so strange. People are so strange. They're just so I don't know what it is. I think it's a nutrient deficiency in the food. He's not absorbing the nutrients he needs. I'm positive that's what it is. But okay, I'm looking at sugar apples, people. Trying to talk and form an intelligent conversation here, but I get distracted. This is the Atemoya tree that had like 4 or 5 fruits I got off of it. It's where my seeds came from. I've been sending all my good seeds to, or saving them to send to people in like Naples and Venice and Sarasota. There's fruit. There's some fruit. But to be honest with you, I haven't even bothered coming and looking at these things for a long time. This one doesn't look very attractive, but it's a big fruit. It's getting there. I seem to have more black spots on the fruit right now. I think that was partially due to the change in temperature. This is an Annona diversifolia, Ilama, a seed-grown tree. It looks very good. Did not mind the drought at all. None of these Annonas mind drought. I think water is their biggest. So people like to throw their trash in here. That's just what people do. Of course, it's purified water, probably. Yeah. Purified water is not the best stuff, people. In case you didn't know that. There's sugar apples. They're just not, you know, it's not coming in strong. You know, big, huge crops. But for a household, I could have sugar apples every day. That's kind of nice. That's why selling this place probably isn't an option. Just because the simple fact that I can walk out my door any given day of the week and find fruit to eat. What's that worth? So the bird people, so my biggest gripe with the fruit is, I didn't like this. I got a Ilama fruit on my Ilama tree. This is a Genova red that looks like a viable fruit. This is the Genova red Ilama, please. And then there's a flower next to it. Please let that be true. It looks totally healthy though, like it's going to survive. This little frog. Oh, I love the little frogs. I really do. I love the little frogs, obviously. Florida was this part of Florida was the frog gigging capital of Florida until they put the canals in. That's why it's called Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. So I get so offended by people when they just randomly tell other people on social media to apply copper on their mangoes. Keep drinking the creamer, Todd. Keep polluting Florida, and none of us will have a place to live. Humans and frogs alike. Yeah, there's a good looking sugar apple right there. I'm so thrilled. See, this is why I have Atemoya fruit. That looks like a viable fruit. One of them doesn't, but one of them does. The one in front looks like it'll drop off. You see that? Yeah, there's the one that'll drop off, but there's the one that looks viable. This is a fruit that dropped off, but I see fruit on here that is viable, and I see a huge flower right there, and I see a fruit there. So this one produced one fruit so far, this for the first time this year. It's a Priestley Atemoya. I think this is a Priestley also. Spray the copper and kill all the frogs. It doesn't matter. I want my fruit. It's so freaking ridiculous, especially when you don't have to spray it. Look at all this fruit. Yeah, see, I should have been coming here and checking because I'm sure I lost a lot of fruit. Here's one right here. Oh yeah, this one's ripe right now. I'm glad I came. There's fruit on here. Little fruit, big fruit. The fruit I'm trying to get. So if I don't bring my clippers, I just twist these off. But this one looks like a good one. It's nice and fat. Look at that. This is why I love Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm. And I don't even have to water this stuff. I find that relieves so much stress. And I'm glad I can finally say to my partner, it's a little overripe, but it's gonna be good, I can tell. It's an easy peel one. I can finally say to my partner, who freaks out whenever there's a drought, even though they know nothing about growing plants, don't worry, the trees will be fine. Because I think we've experienced the worst drought ever for a summer. I mean, our pond went dry, which I don't think it ever gone dry because it had giant catfish and tilapia in there. So I know that it, look at this. I mean, that's just, There's so many frogs that are jumping away when I'm trying to walk through here, little tiny frogs. I don't know. People are catching on. I love all the people I met in my YouTube, through my YouTube. And I love all the people I met from Biodynamics. Sorry, I'm I'm eating. I can't eat and think and talk at the same time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we need all these frogs that people kill in Florida. Those are the type of birds I was talking about that would be here before all the little ones. You know, the small birds, the shorebirds would be in the lawn, which I like, but I like the other ones too. They make more noise. So, I just want to say one more observation. There's some really good sugar apples. Why haven't I been coming out here and checking? Oh yeah. I can't really save the seeds. That Real Organic project thing that was here, the meet and greet, the nasty meet and greet, it was in front of my biodynamic inspector. It made it for the most memorable inspection I think I probably will ever have, to be honest with you. So thank you for that. But I said to him in front of the biodynamic inspector, I said, the problem with your Real Organic Project certification is that there's no, it has no power to enforce people to comply, and therefore people can cheat and lie very easily without any ramifications, because you really are not, you don't have any enforceable powers. You're just choosing farms that you favor over the other that have the same qualifications. They're all USDA organic. And he said to me, he goes, everyone cheats. I'm like, I don't cheat. I think maybe as a kid, probably I did, but a lot of people do cheat, probably. But it's kind of hard to cheat when you ramble off basically every other day, ad lib what you're doing. Some of that stuff you're trying to hide would come through. The most profound statement he said in front of the biodynamic certifier during the inspection, during his meet and greet: people would like you more if you were nice. I'm not out to win a popularity contest. I'm out to try to fix Florida. And usually the people that I have problems with shouldn't be here. Anyway. And if I had never been Real Organic Project certified, I'd never have to put up with that. But I couldn't believe he said that right in front of him. And I mean, I'm not going to kiss your ass, dude. It's just too funny, too bizarre. Anyway, from Rock Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, I hope you have a beautiful day.